I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to clear your energy field and remove unwanted energy now. How to remove any undesired energy from your field of consciousness. How to make it so that you get to create your reality exactly how you really want it, so that there's no lingering past energy or anything that you don't want in your field, so that you can feel how you want to feel, and also so that you can have what you actually want, and to remove all the, you could say, negative or undesired energy and step into what you want now. I literally mean how to start this process now, in this moment right now. You can do this as you're watching this video. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, recently just launched email coaching, as well as I have a couple spots left for my one-on-one coaching program. I don't accept every single application because spots are extremely limited, and I only accept a certain specific kind of people that are qualified. So if you do want to see if you qualify, be sure to include as much detail as possible in the application, where once again, all the details to see where that is are going to be down below. Now, the first step that I personally found in my experience to clear your energy field and remove any unwanted energy now, which is absolutely critical for me, because I found that, I've tried to have this mentality of like clearing the energy, removing the energy I don't want. But personally for me, the more that I focus on what I don't want, I just get more of it. And you've probably heard that before. And I'm not saying to not see clearly with full consciousness. I don't know how I can communicate this in the most explicit way, because what I'm about to share might bring up some ideas where it's like, well, isn't there like a mentality of like, what if, because I haven't shared what it is yet, but I want to prepare you. What I'm about to share with you might bring up some sort of concern. It's like, well, what if you're running away from what you don't want and you're not facing it? Don't have that concern. I'm going to share with you how to face what you don't want directly, how to slay the fear, how to see the fear for what it is, but simultaneously remove it and just have it vanish out of your life. Just remove it. Just shatter the fear into the abyss of nothing, because you don't want it anymore. Just let it go and let it be in the past. And the first step I found is that for me personally, having a mentality of removing energy that I don't want never worked for me. It never worked for me. The more that I focused on removing what I don't want, I kind of set myself down a timeline of insanity and madness. I don't know how it is personally, but in my past, when I've tried to just remove the thing I don't want and remove it, I just get more of it. Look, I don't know how it is for people. I know that it's a controversial topic and many people can get emotional and triggered. This is sensitive, right? Because we go through some really dark shadows. And when you hear somebody say, oh, just, stop focusing on it, you're going to get more of it. It's like, well, what do you mean? I have this problem and this problem and this problem. I understand. I've had that problem. But what I want to share with you is that a powerful perspective that'll work for me is to simply, and very specifically, and with commitment and devotion and strong intention, use your mind for this, is to choose a reality. Okay, and I want to say reality with the biggest letters possible and underscore it 3 times. Reality. Because what is reality? What is reality? Reality is whatever you make of it. You ever hear people say, make a great day? That quote didn't say, try to have a good day. That quote doesn't say, attempt to have a great day. It says, make a great day. See, when you wake up every single morning, you can be swept by the currents of life, and then life can decide how your day goes for you, based usually on something based on the past. Maybe something happened in your past. Maybe you have an emotion that something happened to you yesterday, perhaps even 10 years ago. People hold on to emotions that based on something that happened to them 10 years ago. 10 years ago, a situation happened to them, and their personal reality, your personal reality, is now dictated by something that happened 10 years ago. Now, this is a serious problem, because when I say choose a reality, I literally mean choose a reality. That means that whatever you choose is going to become reality. It's going to become the truth. It is the truth. Okay? And if enough people agree with it also, well, it doesn't even matter if they don't agree because it's the truth, right? But when you have a strong energy, when you have a strong energy field, when you choose a reality with enough commitment and devotion and intention, it becomes reality. And people will see it as reality. They won't see it as a story. They won't see it as something that you're creating and attempting to create. It is reality. This is going to sound egotistical, but what I've come to realize is who is right? Who is right in reality? Who's right, who's wrong? You want to know who is right? Whoever has the strongest belief. Whoever has the strongest energy field is right. And it's as simple as that. Francis, isn't that egotistical? Isn't that arrogant? Well, kind of, you need a little bit of ego and arrogance to create your reality. If you want to be an independent person, if you want to create your reality how you want, you need a little bit of ego. In fact, probably more than you might believe you need. But it all depends on what you define by ego, right? Because I think ego is simply a state of consciousness. This is just my opinion, what I believe ego to be, where you're holding on to some idea of the past and you're creating your own personal reality of self-created resistance and suffering based upon some ideas that you know don't resonate for you. That's what I believe ego is. I think, if we're going to use that word, I think choosing a reality, dropping the past, uplifting your state, and choosing your personal reality, this can be your own anything. This is your identity. This is your life that we're talking about here. This is your life. Imagine if you could consciously craft your reality on a blank canvas. Well, guess what? You don't have to imagine it because that's what you are. That's life. I was going to say, imagine that you can do that. Well, no need to imagine it because it's already the case. That's your life. You get to decide your reality. That's what you get. That is your right to decide your reality. So what I'm inviting you to do here, the first step to clear your energy field and remove what you don't want is to choose a reality. You got to commit to a reality. Within your present moment experience, whatever is happening, what you want to do is choose a reality. What does this mean? This means that the second thing that I want to share with you that's going to connect with this first point is that with all these things happening in your present moment, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't teach you this explicitly. Why? Because they want all the power for themselves. They want all the power for themselves. They don't want to just help themselves and help others. The people that don't explain this explicitly, they want the power for themselves and for themselves only. I want power. I want to create what I want, but I want you also to have power and to create your reality. And I'm not going to hide any of my secrets. I'm not going to hide. Yes, I'm going to have some mystery. I'm not going to tell you everything. Some things are meant to be for Francis and for Francis only. I'm not going to tell you everything, right? I have to have that degree of mystery just for my own personal boundaries. But in terms of like manifestation, I have no secrets, and I want to tell you everything that you need to know in order to create your reality. And I feel like a lot of people don't share this. And so what I want to share with you is that in order to choose a reality, within this present moment, you have all these forms happening. Forms, things popping up. Now these things are just your past. They're just your past. They usually have very little to do with who you are becoming and where you are going. Now, if you see the form happening and you think that it means you have to keep going in that direction, then you will manifest that reality for yourself. Now, what I found to be very powerful in my experience is to understand that in order to choose a reality, you have to take responsibility and create your own meaning to what is happening. So this means whatever you want it to mean. That's what it means. It means that when you're experiencing something in your life, when you have something happening in your life, when you feel an undesired energy, that means whatever you want it to mean. So it's like you got to start to take responsibility of how you view yourself. I've come to realize your own personal experience, how you want to see life, how you want to see life and how you want to see yourself. Because what I found is that the more that you make a decision to focus on who you prefer to be and what you want to manifest, but you really commit to this. This means taking control of your mind. Taking control of your mind. Consciously directing your thoughts. See, when you choose a thought, when you choose to have reality go a certain way, what happens is that you might not believe it at the beginning. You might not believe it the second time. You might not believe it the 5th time. You might not even believe it the 20th time. But eventually, if you keep focusing on what you can do, no matter how challenging your life is, no matter how negative your life might seem, no matter how much negativity and challenges and density and unwanted energy you feel like you're feeling in your life, which feels very dense, like it's pulling you in the direction that you don't want to go in. What I want to invite you to consider here is that there's always something to focus on that will make you feel better, that will uplift your frequency. There's always something. That can mean picking a better thought. For me personally, what I found really powerful, I want to give you an explicit explanation, is to choose a thought. Okay, to choose a thought, but then surrender completely my consciousness and my entire being to that thought. And then to trust my deeper intelligence to align with that thought. And I used to have a fear like, well, wait, if I just let go of this thought, am I going to forget that that's my intention? You won't. Because what's happening is that as you go through your life and you surrender yourself into the intention, your consciousness you'll just know that's what you want. Like I'm always thinking about what I want, but sometimes I can let go of the thought, but I can still kind of just like know that that's just my reality now. It's just a decision. I make decisions not just in the external world. For me, I've come to realize that decisions are also done internally. Action actually begins in your mind. So action, even thinking a thought, you can call this internal action. This is action that is done internally. And many people don't see it in this way, but actually to think a certain thought and to send your consciousness down a certain trajectory is in of itself an entire choice. And it will dictate what happens in your life. It is going to dictate how your experience plays out. This is not something that I want you to take my word for. Be conscious of your thinking. Don't get so attached to the thinking that now you're living only in the mind. I've come to realize as well that it's powerful to drop that meaning into your reality, to make that subconscious, unconscious mind drop it into reality. But for me, the key is also to drop the attachment and to surrender myself into it. But the key is also as well is to create my own meaning and to take ownership over the fact that I can consciously direct where my thoughts go and I can create my own meaning. And this can be in terms of any aspect of your life, because you can do this towards your self-image. You can do this towards anything. The possibilities are quite literally infinite and endless. So the key though is to take responsibility of this aspect of your mind, to make sure that you use your mind so that your mind doesn't use you, right? You want to become a master of your own mind so that you don't manifest experiences where like you're being the puppet, right? You don't want to be the puppet. You want to be the master, right? So if you want to become the master, if you want to become the master teacher, if you want to become the spiritual master, if you want to call it that, become your own guru, become your own teacher, you need to start to take responsibility over the meaning that you create over every single experience that happens to you. Because let's just say you're working a job. I'll give you an example. And let's say you have you could say that you're giving a meaning to somebody, that this person is extremely narcissistic and I hate them, and why is this person treating me like this? Why is this boss controlling my life? This person's controlling me. Why? And you could be sent down a timeline of resistance and anger and resentment and, disliking. Not that you can't dislike this person or have that preference and have that emotion, but if you're holding on to the emotion of resentment, this is when the process of sending yourself down a timeline of resistance, of self-created resistance, even though it's like, wait, but isn't that person making me cause problems? Yes, They genuinely could be causing a problem for you. They could be genuinely something that you have a right to have an emotion around. But to hold on to that emotion is where you now need to take responsibility that it's now your choice to keep yourself stuck in that kind of emotional rut of resenting somebody else when you could let that go and choose your reality instead. So let me give you an example here. So let's say you do have this type of boss where you have like a strong resentment and negativity for this person. What I've come to realize is that you can simply imagine you have a goal in your mind to be a person that makes like $20,000 per month, and you're working a job just to kind of be in alignment with this new reality you're creating for yourself. You're not going to be at that job forever. First of all, you have that understanding that you're not going to be there forever. Also, you kind of just like, you see that situation, that person that maybe nags at you and tells you this, and you're looking at the person and all you see is like, imagine you're affirming to yourself, I make $20,000 per month. Imagine you were creating the same types of experiences, manifesting the same bosses, the same experience again and again and again in your own suffering for like 50 years, let's say. And then in an instant, you remove that experience from your life simply because you changed the meaning. You changed the meaning, and now that experience is done. It vanishes out of your consciousness, and you remove and you clear your energy field of that unwanted energy. You stop seeing it as bad. It exists. I have that, perspective, like I don't like that type of experience. You own fully like, oh, I don't like that experience. I don't want this type of experience. But there's no resistance anymore because you change the meaning and then it's gone. I think this is absolutely amazing because people can repeat cycles and patterns and go through these experiences for so long, so much suffering. And all they have to do is change the way that they see it. And it can be that simple. It's like, well, isn't there more? It doesn't have to be more complicated. It doesn't have to be like deep, this. Sometimes no. Sometimes it can be as simple as to change the meaning and then it's gone. And so to conclude this video, what I want to share with you is to let your past go. Let your past be the past and let yourself become that person that you truly want to be. Because actually what's happening is that if you want to clear your energy field, what you got to do is choose a new reality, create your own meaning, and then let the past go. But the letting go of the past, this process of letting go of the past happens quite naturally and quite effortlessly when you decide to be a new person and to see reality only through that lens of this new choice that you've made. Because what's happening is that the past, you're going to be the past. You are the past. But when you choose a new lens of reality and your identity, the past, now you have a little bit of separation between you and the past. Now you take back your control as a conscious creator where you see, okay, this past doesn't have to define me because me is something that I decide. Me, what you are, is a decision to go in a certain direction. You're not an emotional pattern of the past that happened to you 10 years ago, and you think some people think it's not something that happened 10 years ago because they recreate it for so many years and they're reactive to it for so many years, and they keep manifesting, for example, like that situation at the job, they keep manifesting that same type of boss or that same type of relationship, and then they see them in that way that they don't like, right? Not to say that you can't have that preference, but they keep emotionalizing it and they're not choosing to switch the meaning around, if that makes sense. And then so they think that it's a present issue, but really it's a past issue. It's a past issue. It's an issue that actually comes from 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 20 years ago, right? But then what happens is that when you see reality through that new lens that you've decided for yourself, whether that's your self-image or whether that maybe is just some goal in your mind, maybe it's an affirmation, it doesn't matter, right? Once it's just something new, a new vision, a new direction, a new trajectory that you're heading for in your life, right? Once you do this, once you've decided upon this, what happens is that the past will be seen through this new lens and it will stop defining you. The past will no longer have you in its grip. You will no longer be defined by the past. You will no longer be defined by your shadow. You will no longer be defined by this energy that you don't like. And then now, once you're in momentum with what I'm sharing with you in this video, you will see that clearing your energy field happens very naturally. So as soon as you feel like you're very dense and you feel like your energy field is muddy, you could say it's all muddied up with all these frequencies that you don't enjoy, that's your cue to be like, okay, it's time for me to refocus and ground myself on who I prefer to be, to get clear on my intentions and to get back into alignment with who I want. And you're gonna do that counterintuitive move. Rather than chasing in the external world for what you want, rather than being a puppet in somebody else's system, you actually take your power back and you start to be that person that you really want to be, okay? And so this is really important to let the past go and to just decide to be that person that you really want to be. And then you'll realize that you are the creator of your reality, okay? And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, I recently just launched email coaching, as well as I have only a couple spots left for my one-on-one coaching program. I don't accept all applicants for the one-on-one coaching program, so if you do want to see if you qualify, be sure to include as much detail as possible in the application, where all the details for that, once again, will be down below. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next